Hello! My name is Pei, and today I'm going to show you how to run expert level ToA with affordable gear and a couple of tricks. My previous guide demonstrated how to run entry level ToA, and a lot of you seem to like it, so I'm expanding this knowledge for anyone that would like to take ToA one step further. If you're new to ToA, I suggest you watch my previous guide or any other in-depth guide for that matter. I want to emphasize that I'm just your average RuneScape enjoyer. I'm not a master of the game by any means, and this guide is aimed towards newer players just like myself. When I said affordable gear, I really meant it. You don't need this gear or even this funny looking gear. All you need is Elite Void, and you could get it by doing the pest control minigame and a total of 1650 points to buy and fully upgrade it. Elite Void is great for learning as it doesn't cost any GP to get, and it's fairly strong because of the set bonuses it provides. Also, when you die in ToA while wearing Void set, you only need to pay a small fee to retrieve the items. This can really help while learning the raid because other gear can cost you up to 500k GP to retrieve. While it's not really the best defensive armor, Elite Void provides decent set bonuses. Melee set gets you a 10% bonus to your melee damage and accuracy. Range set gets you a 12.5% bonus to your range damage and accuracy, and mage set will give you a 45% accuracy and 5% bonus damage. As you can already tell, it's a pretty good and versatile gear set, and it will minimize the amount of switches in our inventory. If you're comfortable with more switches and have extra GP laying around, take a look at the Tombs of MS Good strategy page. There's a section for every type of attack style from most to least effective. As far as other requirements, I highly suggest that you bring trolls as their damage output might not seem much at first, but it quickly adds up, and sometimes they can even save you from a sticky situation. I'm also bringing a BGS to hopefully reduce defense, but you can also bring any other damage spec weapons such as Void Waker or Burning Claws. If you're really low on cash, you can bring a Bone Dagger. If you have it, bring a Yellow Curse as well. I mostly use it to heal off, of course, in the last phase, and obviously it can be used as a clutch weapon whenever you need an extra life. We're going to run a level 300 invocation raid, and this is my preferred setup. Obviously, it's not going to be the same for everyone, but I'm going to show you some invocations which I believe are free and don't change mechanics of the raid that much. If you're just starting out, skip the hardcore run invocations since it basically limits you to one death per raid. You can replace that with a combination of softcore and vote for it invocations. That way you get to have at least a few tries before you end the raid. It doesn't even matter if you don't finish the raid in 40 minutes. It will only reduce your chance of getting the unique, but hey, you still get to keep the experience. You want to run Walk the Pet since it's basically free 50 points. All this does is buff the bosses a bit. For example, if Akkha is level 2, his memory special attack will trigger 5 instead of 4 times. The other 50 point invocation is called Insanity, and basically makes the last phase of Wardens more hectic. The choice is yours, but from my experience, it really hurts more when you die at the last boss while being 40 minutes in. Other notable invocations would be Feeling Special, which makes Akkha's memory special faster, and Mind the Gap, which makes the pit in Baba's room lethal. Other than that, the rest of these invocations are pretty much free. Oh yeah, sometimes when I don't feel like dealing with Zebak's acid pools, which can be random at times and literally cost you the run, I swap it with Need Some Help, which basically reduces the amount of heals and restores you get from the spirit. That way I don't have to worry about reduced radius of a destroyed jug. Okay, so we're ready to jump into the raid, but obviously we need to pre-pot and fill our inventory with heals and restores. What we're going to fill our inventory with depends on which pet we're going to take inside the raid. We have two possible pets to choose from: the regular Zebak into Kephri, and then depending on their level Akkha or Baba, and Baba into Kephri, and then again depending on their level Akkha or Zebak. If I'm running Zebak first, I would pre-pot the Divine Ranging Potion into Karamban and then Anglerfish into Anti-Venom. My raid inventory would then have one dose of Divine Super Combat for Kephri, and the rest of my inventory would consist of 3 or 4 brews and 8 or 9 restores. Really depends on the mood. If we're running Baba first, we should pre-pot a Divine Ranging into a Karamban, a Divine Super Combat into a Karamban, and then Anglerfish into Anti-Venom. The rest of my inventory would look the same, except instead of 1 dose Super Combat, I would bring a 2 dose, just to reapply it on Baba and then have one more for Kephri. Of course, you can always use the new chugging barrel if you want the one-click pre-pot. Since my range gear is really bad and I have a dragon crossbow, I tend to run Zebak first since I've noticed that it's easier to deal with a level 0 Zebak early on. If I had a Bofa or a ZCB, I would definitely run Baba first. Sometimes I do, though. It all depends on the mood I'm in. If you already have a decent gear and you're struggling with Baba's monkey room, I suggest you run Baba first. That way you won't lose much time if you fail the room and you can restart the run immediately. So the first tip is located in the Zebak puzzle room. There's a way that you can fill the pond with water in 2 runs, even before the crocodiles get to it, and as long as you're running, you won't take any damage. It doesn't matter if you take some damage on your way to the fountain. The only thing that matters is that you don't take damage on your way back. This is important, especially if you're running any of the time-based invocations, since it will save you a lot of time. For this part, I suggest you use the True Tile marker, which can be found under the Tile Indicators plugin. True Tile basically shows the accurate state of your character, or in other words, where your character currently is. This way, you know when to click and make certain important actions beforehand. True Tile will be useful throughout the whole raid. Honestly, once I turned it on, I realized how helpful it is and haven't turned it off since then. So a perfect run would look like this. When you enter the room, drop a potion somewhere near the water container and pick the container up. Immediately run towards the marked tile or any of the tiles in that same line. Just make sure to pick a pet without these green blobs. Don't stop, just keep running. As long as you're running, you won't take any damage. When you reach the fountain and notice your character bends down to pick up the water, spam click to get out of the zone. Notice how your character looks like it's standing on top of the green blob, but in reality the real state of your character is shown with the blue tile and you're always 2 tiles ahead, meaning you're not taking any damage. Repeat the same for the next fountain, just make sure to never stop running. Sometimes you'll get to the fountain and a green blob will block your pet. In that case, just make sure to move your character in a way that you create a 1 tile space in between your clicks, like so. There's nothing much to say for the Zebak fight, just do it regularly like always. I usually spec it with a BGS in the beginning of the fight. There's a sheet on the wiki page for maximum defense reduction for all ToA bosses, so aim for these values. I guess you can stand on the left side for first phase of the fight. Most of the time you'll have a solve for the jugs, and stand on the right side of the boss in the second phase for easier jug solves. Oh, and if you're running out of prayer rather quickly during the fight, try and save some by prayer flicking his attacks. It's really easy. You don't have to bother prayer flicking rigor, but if you can handle both, great, you're a beast. If you prayer flick his attacks, you won't be using more than 1.5 restore throughout the whole fight. There's nothing much to say for the Kephri fight either. Trap the melee scarab, and if you can, equip your mage gear and kill it since it heals the boss. Sometimes if I land a lot of zeros, I just ignore it and kill Kephri since it doesn't really matter that much. In between phases, when you kill the important scarabs, use your blowpipe to kill off swarms so Kephri doesn't heal to full. If you prayer flick piety on each of your attacks, you won't be using more than 1 restore throughout the whole fight. And that's it, that's the Kephri fight. So now we need to choose the pet. Obviously, you're always going to take the power option from the spirit. Keep in mind that we're running Walk the Pet Invocation, which randomly levels our pets, or should I say bosses, per each boss completion. First boss that you kill adds 2 levels, randomly spread across other pets. Second boss adds 1 level to one of your remaining pets, and the third boss will add 1 level to your last remaining pet. For example, I finished Zebak first and he added 1 level to Kephri and 1 level to Baba. Then I killed Kephri and he added 1 level to Akkha. Now, if I decide to kill Akkha, he will add 1 level to Baba, making Baba a level 2 encounter. Level 1 and 3 bosses have increased HP and damage, and level 2 and 4 bosses have improved special attacks. You're always going to have at least 1 level 2 boss, but don't worry about it, the mechanics are easy. The way I do it, I choose whichever boss is the higher level first, and I try to keep the maximum level of a boss at 2. For example, if Baba is 2 and Akkha is 0 or 1, like in this case, I chose Baba because if I choose Akkha first, Baba would be level 3 and I'd hate to fight the big ape on steroids. What you should also keep in mind is that the monkey puzzle room also gets buffed by these levels, so this could decide whether you want to do Zebak or Baba first. I'm not afraid of the small monkeys, so I don't really mind. So, of the notable attacks, a level 2 Akkha has 5 instead of 4 memory puzzles. Level 2 Baba's rocks hit the ground faster, level 2 Zebak attacks faster, especially in the last phase of the fight. And the level 2 Kephri, I don't really know and I don't really care, no one's running that shit. I always choose Baba level 2 as it makes the Reqs easier because the boulders fall faster from the sky. And what is Reqs, you might ask? Well, to be honest, I don't even know myself, but basically you click the red thingy and if you do Reqs, you basically skip a lot of Baba's attacks, and if done properly, you take 0 damage, so it makes the room free. In order to do Reqs properly, import the tiles which are linked in the description below. Take Baba's tile and make sure that your control walk is turned on in the settings, you're going to need it. So the first thing you're going to do is stand on the marked tile, pray melee and piety and wait for Baba to hit you. Once Baba is about to hit you, click on him and move 1 tile backwards, like so. As you can see, I clicked on Baba right before he was going to hit me and my hit processed just in time. It's just a feeling that you're going to get once you practice this for a bit. As soon as you move backwards, Baba will line himself up with the edge of the map, like so, while he's walking towards the edge, and when your true tile marker is on the back tile, click on the red triangle and walk 3 tiles inwards. Once your true tile is on the third tile and in the middle of Baba, attack him and your character will move back to its original position, like so. Once you're back to your tile, repeat the whole process, but instead of 3 tiles, you're going to move 2 tiles inwards and attack. You're going to repeat this process until Baba phases out. And remember, do not run. All of this is done by walking, and that's the reason we have control walk turned on in the settings. This way, you just hold down control button on your keyboard and you're good. No need to manually turn run on and off. Now let's see this in action one more time from start to finish. Wait for Baba to attack you, attack him back and move 1 tile backwards. Click on the red triangle and move 3 tiles inwards, then attack Baba. Once his shockwave attack is done, click on the red triangle again and move 2 tiles inwards, then attack him. Repeat the process until the end. The shockwave sound could be your cue when to click on the red triangle as well. As soon as you hear this, you can click on the red triangle. When you're red Xing, Baba will always drop 1 boulder depending on where your character stands at the moment. So you're going to have 2 different scenarios. First one is the easy boulder. He will drop a boulder 1 tile in front of your character. Just wait it out and click on the red triangle once it drops. You have plenty of time to react. The second one I call the hard boulder, and depending on your red X rhythm, Baba will sometimes drop a boulder to your original tile. You can usually avoid this by immediately clicking on the red triangle and moving 3 tiles inwards. The same way we do when starting the red X. Afterwards, just continue the 2 tile process. Once Baba is phased out, move through the boulders and drop a potion on the tile marked as drop. Move to this tile, activate your prayers, attack Baba, and then immediately move to the back tile. Once your true tile marker is on the back tile, click on the potion and move 3 tiles inwards, then attack Baba, just like we did during the first phase. Everything else is the same now, except instead of clicking on the red triangle, you're going to use your potion as the red X thingy or whatever. Watch out for boulders and kick him until he drops down. He will phase the 3rd time and you'll just repeat the potion red Xing until he's finished. This tactic will save you a lot of brews and restores if done properly, and it will make the room free. Trust me, just do a few tries on a level 0 or 50 invocation and you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly. Akkha is probably everyone's least favorite room when soloing because he does almost unavoidable damage when hitting with melee. You're going to get hit 10s constantly and he will drain you a lot of brews. Obviously, you can just tank that if you have enough brews, but there's a way to avoid the damage, or at least half it by doing what's called a butterfly mechanic. The only problem I have with Butterfree is I have a feeling that if you don't have a shadow, it's almost a gamble if you're gonna pull it off or not. You're highly dependent on not hitting zeros on Akkha's shadows, and if you don't deal enough damage and kill off the shadow quickly, you're gonna get royally So I usually do a combination of tanking and butterfly, in the sense that if I notice I'm not hitting the shadow for enough damage, I just swap to my most accurate and highest damage gear. In my case that's melee, and just finish it off. And if Akkha goes back to his melee phase, I just start doing butterfly again to save some brews. Rinse and repeat. If I had a shadow, I'd almost certainly only do butterfly, because if done properly it will take no damage and it will make the room basically free. The first thing you wanna do is import the tiles which are linked in the description of the video. If you're using RuneLite, shift right click on Akkha and choose swap shift click to walk here. What this will do is, if you're holding down shift and clicking on Akkha, you will not attack him, you will walk through him. This is helpful for butterfly, especially if you don't want to zoom out as much. You're gonna want to do the same on Akkha's shadow. By holding down shift, you don't have to worry that you're going to accidentally attack Akkha or his shadow when not needed. As you can see, we have 4 quadrants and 6 non-transparent tiles on each quadrant. These tiles are split into attacking and walking tiles. You're going to want to attack on the attacking tiles, and you're just going to walk through the walking tiles. Crush some salts, pray melee and augury, and enter the room. Position yourself on the walking tile and wait for Akkha to come closer. When Akkha gets near, run to the attacking tile and attack him. You want to click on Akkha as soon as your true tile marker reaches the attacking tile. Once you've attacked Akkha, immediately click on the walking tile and then move towards the other attacking tile from which, you guessed it, you're going to attack again. Now just repeat the same process and move in circles. Once shadow spawn, do the same, but instead of Akkha, just click on the shadow. Also, it usually doesn't matter if you get hit once or twice at the beginning, but sometimes when you get hit he will swap prayers and you're gonna have to switch gear, so try to avoid getting hit right from the start. It's going to take some time to figure out, but it's worth it, and it's going to save you a lot of HP. Like I said above, I usually do a combination of butterfly and regular tanking. As soon as I notice that I don't do enough damage to the shadow, I just swap my gear to melee and finish it off. And then whenever Akkha goes into his melee phase, I start butterfreeing again to save some brews. You do you, of course, and do whatever you think it's easier. Other than this mechanic, there's nothing real much to say for Akkha, except watch out for memory tiles, as he does 5 instead of 4 when he's level 2. Now the only thing that's left are Wardens. This is just how I do the encounter. You're probably gonna find different approaches from different people, but this is what I feel most comfortable with. I start off by BGS specking. The obelisk defense can be reduced by up to 40, so that's the value I'm looking for. If I hit higher, I'll swap to my Fang and just double spec for extra damage. As soon as I'm done specking, I swap my Berserker ring to Light Bearer, so I have enough spec bar for phase 2. I'm taking damage up to 60 HP, and then I move to the pillar and just do the regular mechanics. In phase 2, just before the Warden is down, I sip an adrenaline potion, swap to my melee gear including Berserker ring, turn on Piety, and DDS spec the core 5 times and then hit it once with the Fang. Once the core is done, I equip my light bearer again. On the next core, I do everything the same as last time, only this time dump whatever the DDS specs I have and finish off the rest with Fang. Once the core is done, I re-equip my light bearer again. This way, the third core can be finished off by not using DDS at all, just Fang the thing. I do this because I want to have at least one spec available for my BGS when I enter the last phase of Wardens. If you're bored of running solo, go to World 329, which is the biggest free-for-all ToA world in RS. Do some 8-man runs, it's really fun as the raids feel so alive. You're also looking at a great opportunity to learn some of the harder invocations, as people tend to run Insanity and all different combinations of invocations. Generally, it's much faster and easier to complete a level 300 raid as an 8-man than it is as a solo, although as in all team games you're going to find a few bad apples, so be prepared. In all honesty, just challenge yourself. Start with a 150 level raid and move your way up to 300. It's all muscle memory, you just need to give it a few tries. If you didn't know already, completion of a 350 level ToA will give you a skin for your Ava's assembler. I've had a lot of fun upping my raid from 300 to 350, and the Mazori kit gives you that nice feeling of being rewarded while completing something challenging. I probably shouldn't say this, but you can also get the Mazori kit in 8-man teams. So I wish you luck on your purple hunt, thanks for watching and have a good one.